All right, people. So I know I've been kind of busy here in the last few weeks with work and school and everything like that. So I haven't really had time to upload a video. But I've wanted to make this video for a while now. Honestly, ever since Roman Reigns left WWE because of his cancer thing, and I made a video on that. But now I want to talk about what if he returns? What if he, gets treatment and everything turns out to be okay, and he comes back to the WWE? Because this is probably going through a lot of people's heads, and I just want to talk about it here. I'm just wondering, first off, is he still going to be booed? Will people be able to boo a cancer survivor? Will people have the guts to boo a cancer survivor? I mean, that's kind of where, in this politically correct world now, which is a lot different than it was 10 or 15 years ago. Are people going to boo a guy who just went through cancer treatment? I really don't think so. I think people are too much of pussies nowadays. They don't want to offend anybody. They're walking on needles. I mean, nobody wants to say anything. I mean, you say one fucking thing that's deemed offensive by one person, and oh my gosh, your life is destroyed. It's never the same again. I mean, look at Hulk Hogan, for crying out loud. And countless other celebrities who say things that are deemed like offensive, So I really don't think people are going to have the guts to boo Roman Reigns. And it's going to be interesting to see, whether Vince McMahon will use, he's going to, if Roman Reigns comes back, Vince McMahon is going to use that to push him to the fucking moon. And he's going to push him 10 times more than he ever pushed him before. I mean, it's just a disaster, if that happens. And I'm so glad I don't watch anymore, so I don't have to put up with that bullshit. But if if Roman Reigns comes back, that they are going to push him so far down your throats, it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be, it's going to want to make you vomit. It's going to want to make you throw up. And I'm very glad I don't watch that shit anymore. But like Vince McMahon, the whole creative team has some weird obsession with pushing this guy, even though nobody likes him, even though the ratings have been going down the shitter for the last few years. They just keep on pushing him for some reason. Like, nobody likes him. He gets booed, but yeah, just keep pushing him. Like, it just never made any sense. And, they'll keep trying. They always fail. They give it multiple pushes, multiple title reigns, multiple everything. WrestleMania main events, top matches up the wazoo, and every time the crowd hates them. So, but they're going to try again and again and again and again, and it's really a shame. But yeah, I just been thinking about it, and that the fans are probably not going to boo him, although I would. He's probably not going to get the same amount of boos, if any, if he comes back. So Vince McMahon and the creative team are going to be sitting there like, oh, look at this. He's actually good. We're doing a good job. When in reality, people feel bad for him, so they don't want to boo him. So it's one of those situations though, that you don't know what's going to happen until it happens. I mean, they could even turn him heel. They could do something like that. But when it all comes down to it, people, I am just so happy that I have not been watching this shit anymore. Not like I even have the time to watch it. I mean, they put on 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, NXT, pay-per-views. I mean, it's just so fucking much. I mean, it's like a second job to have to be able to watch this shit. And I don't have the time. And I'm working so much. I'm going to school so much. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I don't have any motivation to watch this shit anymore. So I apologize to people who still watch it and, maybe are hoping I start watching again. But don't get your hopes up, because I am very happy now watching it. And I go through my fucking phone. Always when I went on YouTube, I would get all these you get the recommended videos on YouTube. I would always see, wrestling, WWE videos. Now I don't see any of that shit because I've given it up. I've stopped watching. And it's the greatest decision I've ever made in my life. It's like it's like, a heroin addict who's been on, heroin for 5 years. I was watching wrestling for 5 years, and I wanted to give it up, but I just couldn't because, I got some comments here. Wrestling Jesus has returned for the 1,000th time. Yeah, I used to watch his videos, a little bit when I had some more time, but now I don't have any time, so I really don't do anything wrestling related. I got no recommended videos on my YouTube account, which I am happy about now. Although I might get some now that I'm making this fucking video. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, I did used to watch them, Brad Rules and Wrestling Jesus. I don't know what they're up to now, but I used to watch them and get some entertainment out of them. But I probably could get a lot more views on my channel if I did do wrestling videos. The wrestling videos do get a lot more views than the other videos, but I just don't have any energy, no motivation to watch this shit anymore because it sucks. And I'm not going to put myself through that torture. Like I said, it's like a heroin addiction. And giving it up, it's like I'm fucking sober for the last 9 months now that I haven't watched any of it, and it's great. It gets a lot of stress out of my life. It calms me down. I'm not going crazy. I'm not worrying about when I'm going to get my next hit on Monday nights. It's great. So so I'm glad I don't have to worry about Roman Reigns returning and fucking up my Monday nights anymore. But there you go, people. There's my thoughts on that, and it's an interesting thought. So leave your comments below. Like, what do you think is going to happen if Roman Reigns does return? I mean, I don't hope the man dies. I'm not a fucking psycho. I don't wish death on the man. So what happens if the guy returns? What's going to happen? Is he going to get cheered? And also the question too is, will he be the same physically? Because a chronic illness like that, a disease like that, can take a lot out of a man. And he might not be the same if he returns, or he might just retire altogether. So I mean, what do you think is going to happen there if he does return? So there you go, people. There's my thoughts on that.